Yeah, you own the original version from 2007, right? That's why you could install Hellgate Revival. That's the thing. Uh, that's the original version, the one developed by Flagship and then modded by both the Hellgate Revival team, and they seem to recall original on disc, I think, or from the site originally. Exactly. If you have those, you're in luck, because if you have the original version, you can install London 2038. Uh, which here I'll show you. I'll show you now that that they've killed me. Here I'll show you. For example, I because you played the same version that I streamed originally, the original version from 2007. Yeah, I have it saved on this to disk. Exactly. Uh, if you have the original version, you're in luck, because it's the only version that you can install. It's the version that pretty much there are two versions, that one and the one from Steam. Here you can see that they've restored this. Now you must be wondering. I don't know if you've ever seen this. Basically, I didn't see this up until recently, because I also played precisely that version without Hellgate Revival. And it's like I streamed the original version because of a personal reason, because here I analyze games and I qualify them, and it wasn't fair to qualify a game with this huge modification on it. So here you have Stonehenge, the London 2038 team, restored all of these. This is online, and it's like you could see that there were other players. Yeah, I know it's a mess. It's a mess to understand this disaster. For example, here you can see that there are other players. Here you can see that there are other players. This is the online server in Canada, I believe it is. You'll also find the statue here. I don't have it because of something that I'll explain to you. Well, anyways, they kill me. Yeah, exactly. Here, for example, here I'll do a full tour for you, because maybe I can, if I can save to one person the mess that I went through. It's something worth doing, because I spent months to do this. For example, here's kind of like the farming area. Let's say this is Wake Hollow. This is not part of the base version of the game. It happened to me. I streamed the base version of the game from 2007, but I did it willingly because I wanted to qualify the original experience. But you don't need to do that at all. Here you can see, for example, I'm sure you haven't seen this in the base version. Here there are four of these doors, let's say, which lead to other dungeons. Here you have to pay with heads of with essences, sorry, with some essences, and basically once you kill the four commandants of hell here, you can fight another one called Moloch, and you can get the respect token. So yeah, basically this is the one huge area. This is the restored content modification, the restored content from London 2030. Here you can see that there are players. As I've said, this is the online server. The other one, the other huge area that they've restored, it's this one, which is Abyss Chronicles. I showcased everything. Just in case you are interested, I showcased everything and separately. Kind of like I first showcased the base game, the one you played, without Hellgate Revival, kind of like the base game from 2007, to analyze it. And then I showcased the restored content one. Then you have this. Haven't played it in ages. Played all the classes quite extensively. Oh well, I didn't. I just discovered the game recently, and I kind of like did a retrospective analysis of it. Now you played all of the classes. Is it true that the summoner was completely OP, at least in the non-modded version? Because that's the next class that I wanted to try. Here, for example, here you have the complete map. I have the complete map. Here you have everything. Westminster Catacombs, meh, they are all viable. They are all viable, well, with a pretty good gear. Because here trust me, if you bring, I don't know, a guardian, a tank, for the base version, trust me, they are viable. But here, trust me, it's there are some sections that I cannot imagine soloing them as melee. Because this version is basically meant for beating everything in base game with every class, not online version. That's none of the multiplayer areas. Yeah, exactly. You play the exact same version that I streamed at the beginning, the first version that I streamed, the one from 2007, a classic, and then you probably install the Hellgate revival, right? So yeah, pretty much the base version from 2007. This one has group content. For example, you could see that I couldn't kill the zombies. For example, that one, or here in Abyss, here I can enter so they can kill me. Yeah, I used to have multiplayer in that version, but exactly they shut down. They shut down, and after that, the Korean company got the rights, so only solo was available. Exactly. That's the version that I streamed at the beginning. Exactly. Here you can see that they restored Abyss. But for example, this boss, you cannot solo it. Right? You cannot solo it. Which is basically the daily farm boss. There you can see that it will kill me. For example, this one you need a group. For example, this version has group content. Well, that's kind of like London 2038, the online version. But then I did something that few people know about. Few people know about. This online. You can see that there are other players and everything, and well, the shared storage is working, so it's interacting with the server. It's in Canada. But there's something. there's something that few people know. Let me get to the character selection. If you only download London 2038, if you don't see, for example, this is my character online. This is the server, the London 2038 server from the London 2038 team. They have their own Discord. I met Sayona. He was extremely kind and everything while I was streaming the base version of the game. This is the server. But then, if you only download London 2038, you'll see that this single player option won't be there. It won't be there. You will only have multiplayer because they only work on the multiplayer section of the game. Only this one, with all of the restored with Stonehenge, Abyss, and the Dawn of the Dead. Those three parts are exclusive to them. Those three exclusive expansions. I know that they were present in the online version of the original game, but here they revamped them. They made them totally new. But then, don't delete your save files, by the way. If you have the save files of all of the characters, don't delete them. Don't do so because of what I'm gonna show you. On top of London 2038, and this is something that almost no one does, this is something that I've investigated on my own. After streaming the base version of the game, you won't find the single player option, but you can install a single player mod of London 2038 to play it offline, for example. And this option will appear. If you just download London 2038, the mod, you'll only have multiplayer on the servers. But then I modded this to work in a kind of like reverse engineered version. This character is the original character that I played. You can watch. I kind of like recorded like 25 streams, so you can see that I'm not lying at all. That this is a reverse engineered version. Yeah, Marksman was my first. Indeed, this is a character from the original version from 2007 that you have. Can outrange aggro of monsters and kill them off screen. Yeah, indeed. I am torn between the. I think the Summoner. I've never played it, but according to what I've seen, I think the Summoner in London 2038 is the best. So here I'll show you. That's why I tell you, don't delete your characters from the original version, because this character is from the original version from 2007. You can see that I played a different one, a different version, the original version from 2007, different from the London 2038 version. So I applied this second uh, mod on top of the London 2038 mod, and you can see that here it's the same game. I can access everything. As you can see, I've already paid my heads here, and I can access Moloch step. And as you can see, I can access the restored content developed by the London 2038 team offline, completely offline. Here you can see that there are no players in the main hub. Here you can see and everything. And you can see that my character is even level 37, which is pretty much at the end of normal difficulty, a normal difficulty of the base version of the game. All right, so this everything of this version is stored locally. It's stored locally, and yeah, pretty much here it's London 2038 single player, reversed engineered, completely offline. That's why I tell you don't delete your original characters, because this character is from the original version from 2007. Right. So you mentioned non-online version and the Korean version, don't own the Steam version. Well, this version is kind of like the base version that you have physical from 2007 with the London 2038 mod and the single player extra mod that I added there. But then the other version, and this is what I will showcase in the future, is this one. See, I separated them to ensure that I don't make any more mistakes. Uh, London 2038 here, separated from Hellgate Tokyo Global. The global version is the one that you were commenting. This is the Steam release. It's completely broken. It's completely broken. Um, but I managed to fix it. I mean, not me. The community had developed a lot of mods, like this one that you're looking at right now. And after installing 5-6 mods, as you can see, the game works. Honestly, sounds like a pain. Yes, yes, that's what. There you can see it. It says T3 Hanbitsoft. Yeah. You'll need to you need to you'll need to spend some days if you want this one to work, because there's a sting I believe that I followed, but it wasn't enough. Then on top of that, you have to install even more mods. That's why I wanted to showcase this one, because I've already showcased the base version. Now I'm finishing, if I can finish Dawn of the Dead, the London 2038 version. And this is the broken version from Steam. There you can see that it says Hanbitsoft instead of T3, instead of Flagship Studios. And here you can see, thanks from the bottom of my heart, Scarlet Dragoon, for following the channel. Sorry that I couldn't showcase and kill those zombies. I actually managed to solo Westminster Catacombs in a pretty epic finale. If you want to watch something a bit more epic than me being killed by the zombies. But yeah, I managed to solo Westminster Catacombs. There you can see that it was I that stream is 8 hours long. I had to spend 8.5 hours, but I finished Westminster Catacombs over at London 2038. Right, this is the broken version from Hellgate, from Steam. Soloing group content is a fun challenge. Often did that in other games. Exactly. That's why I got that single player version that I showcased of London 2038 because it's multiplayer oriented. But as you said, that's something that I don't hear usually quite often. Uh, but I think exactly the same. Very timing specific. Yeah. People nowadays don't ask me why, but they don't like the child. Took a long time to get exact timings down. Yeah. It's like that. But don't ask me why. But people nowadays don't don't find any challenge from soloing um, group content, and I think it's a challenge. At least back when I played uh, Star Wars: The Old Republic, which is my favorite game of all time. I used to solo content all the time in World of Warcraft. It was a classic, kind of like leveling beyond the origin, the adequate level for the dungeon to solo it. Who hasn't done those things? But yeah. Yes, yeah. I don't know why people don't like doing that nowadays. It's a good challenge. It's a good challenge. I did it in Westminster Catacombs, in fact, because of that very same reason. Well, this is the Steam version. The broken. This one is not broken because I've applied so many mods that I managed to do a dual installation. It's the broken version. The X broken version. Um, As you can see, it detects my character from London 2038 completely broken. This is the only risk. If you press play with your character from London 2038, your character is corrupted. That's why I have a backup. But well, anyways, as long as you don't press play with your character from London 2038, this is the single player character. See that it didn't detect the multiplayer because that one is stored in the Canadian server of the London 2038 team. The only way you can corrupt your character is pressing play. That's why I'm going to explain this before I showcase the Tokyo version here. But if you don't do that, yeah, item are also likely different. Yes, the items are completely different, as you'll see now. As you can see, I create this character as long as you don't press play while selecting your London 2038 single player character. If you don't install the single player mode, it won't even be detected because, as I've said, the character will be stored in the London 2038 servers. But here, this is a character created in Hellgate Tokyo. We'll call it Hellgate Tokyo or Global, doesn't matter. Also, it has a pretty interesting message here, kind of like uh, that says, "It's been an hour since you've been playing. It can affect your lifestyle, and you cannot deactivate it. You cannot deactivate it." That's the one thing that I couldn't fix. That's the one thing that I couldn't fix. And then 2 hours. You've been playing for 2 hours. It may affect your lifestyle. It's the kind of like for Korean cyber centers or cyber cafes, kinda. I infer, I deduce. But yes, as you can see, it is completely different, and this is the next one that I'm gonna showcase. This version is completely broken on Steam, but after installing 6 mods, the augment tracks and everything, you can see that they made the characters more Korean, like this guy having red skin. Um, the skill tree is different from London 2038 or the base game. I mean, it's the online portion of it made single player. So yeah, and as you can see, the user interface is different. it has kind of like that MMO feel to it. And indeed, here we have different items. The items from the global online Korean version of developed by T3 and Hanbitsoft. And yeah, remember that I extensively modded this to be a bit more digestible. A bit more digestible. Because, for example, the inventory was limited, but thanks to another mod that I've installed, look at this. I've expanded the inventory of this broken Steam release here. This is a huge improvement, if you ask me. Yeah. If you get the Steam version, just one disclaimer. Uh, Thankfully, I never had to deal with global. Yeah, one disclaimer: if you download the Steam version, be careful because it will be completely broken if you don't follow the all of the mods that I've installed. Uh, I think I can point you to a guide if you're interested in the Steam version. What I would suggest is you should first, if you have the original CD version, you're in luck because you can install London 2038 and you won't have to go through overpriced, I don't know, eBay or Amazon overpriced physical copies of the game. So yes, as you can identify it, as you can see, and you could identify this is global, but a fixed version of global. Supposedly here in the map, I had to create a new character, but I'm on my way there. Here you can see London, Stonehenge, Second Attack, Abyss, and Tokyo. Here, when I saw this, I finally understood the problem. This version has all of the expansions, but for example, Stonehenge, it won't be like what you saw in London 2038. It's a much worse version, and the same for Abyss. So Stonehenge and Abyss, the best versions are the ones that you just saw in London 2038, either the online servers or the offline single player modification. But then the problem is that legally, Sayona explained this to me, one of the developers of London 2038, that because of legal reasons, they cannot release the Tokyo expansion. They cannot incorporate the Tokyo expansion to London 2038 because it's kind of like it was created by T3 and Hanbitsoft. It's kind of like exclusive to the global version. So we have the game split. We have Second Attack, which is the second expansion that I also don't know where. I've never played it. That's why I want to showcase it. This the part that I've never explored. Second Attack and Tokyo are here, and then Stonehenge and Abyss, while they are here, these versions are terrible when compared to London 2038. So the expansions we have 4 expansions, and we have 2 of them in London 2038 and 2 of them here. One disclaimer, as I've said, Scarlet. Uh, be careful with the Steam version. I would highly recommend that you install London 2038 and play the version that I was showcasing first, because it will be the complete experience. And then, if you really want to re-experience global, go through the pain of installing all of the mods, because this is completely broken. The Steam version is completely broken. It has nothing. This version has nothing to do with. This one is not broken, but because I've modded it, as I've said, with 5-6 mods, I can give you the guides, but it takes time to understand how to fix everything because of how many things are broken. See, this is Hellgate Global without any crashes. This is the Steam version fixed by the community. I mean, the problem is, the problem is that the 5, 6 mods that actually fix this version um, are completely isolated. Kind of like the developer who created the mod that fixes the crash. Well, he developed that, the modder developed that, he fixed that, but then you stumble upon another crash. And then you stumble upon another problem, which is, for example, the fact that in this version, I don't know, you don't have the transmogrifying cube, so you cannot craft items. The crafting system, if you don't apply another modification, is completely broken. So the game will work, it won't crash, but you won't be able to craft items. If you cannot craft items, you won't be able to comfortably play the end game expansions. So yes, the problem is that all of those mods are kind of like isolated one after the other. But I managed to assemble them all, and at least for 4 hours, I've been able to play without a crash, without any kind of issue, with the extended inventory mod. This is because of a mod, for example. Otherwise, it would be a disaster. For example, the stacking here in the base Steam version, which is completely broken, as I've said, which is the Steam version is Hellgate Global. The London 2038 version is the original physical edition. For example, here you can see that I can stack more than 20 health injectors. If so, you can imagine the modder that developed the mod responsible for expanding the the amount of health injectors that you can stack has nothing to do with the modder that fixed the crashes, for example. And yes, you have to slowly add those. I think there are 5 or 6 mods total. If you add mod after mod, kind of like each of them from their own separate source and everything, here you can see that, for example, the health bars are different. They display the percentage. This is kind of like a Korean MMO. Well, this process used to be called wowification, kind of like grabbing any RPG and make it look like an MMORPG, pretty much. Uh, as you can see, this one it's exactly an MMORPG. The user interface, from the Korean NCSoft like NPCs, the percentage bar there. So yeah, the Steam version is kind of like a Korean MMORPG full of bugs in single player, and the other one is the base real version, pretty much the physical version. So yeah, I'll explain all of this once again. It also has that difficulty bar up there that you can change. I would highly recommend going for hell difficulty straight away, otherwise it's way too easy. And as you can see, while it can lag a bit, because the Steam version is completely broken, it won't crash. It won't crash. At least it hasn't crashed for 4 hours the other day when I was showcasing it. So yeah, basically, I managed to do a dual installation of it. So I do this. This is the Augmentrix, another mod, as you can see here. Here you can see Hellgate, Tokyo, blah 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 blah, like that. And then, like this, I can seamlessly go from Hellgate Tokyo Global. That's why I separated them. Hellgate Tokyo Global, and this is the original physical version with London 2038 on it. Yep, a long explanation, but that's basically the whole story. It's basically the whole story. They are completely separated. They are completely separated. It's better to understand them as 2 different games. Hellgate Global, T3 Hanbitsoft, and here Flagship Studios, London 2038. Uh, they are two completely different versions.